So this is a particularly difficult moment because as a mom who had sent students to school every day, we know that we fully entrust our children to the schools and don't expect that this kind of tragic occurrence will happen. So for that, I am deeply sorry. As has been widely reported, we've been engaged in an extensive investigation concerning the circumstances surrounding the tragic death of Trevyon Rowe. The investigation, as promised, will be deep and will be complete, but it is still continuing. So today I'm going to talk about what we do know. Overall, what's become clear is that our system failed us on two important points. First, although 5 school staff members were deployed at School 12 to greet students on March 8th, Trevyon was not observed exiting the bus or leaving the campus. From a review of the available video camera footage, it appears that Trevyon was the second last student who exited a bus and turned right in the opposite direction of the school entrance and was observed on videotape leaving school grounds. Also significant is that Trevyon was not classified in our system as a student with autism. As you may know, autism is primarily a medical diagnosis, and although there are indications that Trevyon was indeed a student with autism, we're still reviewing why he was not so classified. Moreover, his record does not specifically identify Trevyon as having a regular tendency to wander away from school. I'm pointing this out now only to indicate why a monitor was not specifically designated to escort him from his bus to the building. However, we must and we will redouble our efforts to ensure that our children with disabilities in this district are properly classified and ensure our school staff are as vigilant as possible for all children, both during bus arrival and departure times. The second point at which our system failed is in the taking of attendance that day. Although about 60 robocalls went out from the school concerning students not in attendance on March 8th in that building, a call was not made to Trevyon's family. From what we've discovered thus far, the reason is that he was marked as being present by 3 of his teachers at 3 different times, although his special education teacher correctly marked him as being absent. I was also most disturbed to learn that there was an attempt to change the record to cover up these errors, and that will be dealt with separately. Notwithstanding that, there can be no excuse for the failure to discover until the end of the school day that one of our students was absent. It is apparent that we simply were not as careful as we should have been, and there were dire consequences for that. What is particularly troubling in addition is that even if Trevyon was marked absent from the beginning of the day and the robocall procedures were followed to the letter, the call likely would have been too late to have saved Trevyon. Under the district's current attendance procedure, the call would not have gone out until 11 a.m. We must change the procedure, and I will be asking the Board of Education for the ability to hire attendance clerks for all of our schools so that parents can be notified in a timely manner and personally concerning student absences. This recommendation is consistent with the most prudent and stringent practice that will ensure that no family will go without notice of their child's absence personally. For the present time, we have checked and rechecked with all of our schools to ensure that they are confident and they are doubling down and making sure that all students are properly accounted for and safe. As our investigation continues, and it will continue, we will correct any other shortfalls in our system as they are discovered, and we will also address the very obvious human errors that contributed to this tragic result. That said, I will thank all of the district employees, volunteers from throughout the county, especially Autism Up, who worked tirelessly with the police throughout this anguishing time. It illustrates for me once more how this community, despite the things that sometimes divide us, must unite in times of crisis. I thank you for your attention, and my staff and I will do our best to answer any questions that you may have at this time.
Before we do that, I want to add one other piece. Ms. Houston indicated to me, as did Mr. Handy, who many of you have talked to, that there are ongoing questions, and quite naturally we expected that. And Commissioner Dean Williams has indicated that we have every intention of investigating this. The Board of Education has opened up a line of communication to the New York State Department of Education. And it is our hope that that independent investigation will be conducted by the state of New York. While we are very confident of our staff, and they feel the loss as anyone does in this community, we feel that it is best, the Board of Education feels that it is best that we bring in somebody from the outside to gather the facts and determine first for Ms. Houston what happened. And I indicated to her that the first person that would get a copy of that report would be her. And in fact, that's why this press conference took so long to take place. I know many of you have been calling very persistently, wanting to know what we were going to say. We've had to delay this a couple of days at least because we wanted to make sure that the first person that heard us say we were wrong was Ms. Houston. And I'm glad to say we took the time to do that. I thank the staff and the community for your indulgence. But that was important to the board, important to the district staff, and we've done that. And we hope that you all will keep her in her prayers. Any questions?
Ma'am, Davy V here. I'm known to ask the questions that all these folks right here, the Rochester, New York mainstream media, will not ask. Excuse me, don't cut me off, please. All right, with all respect. Yes, I'm serious, absolutely. I am a father of 2 children who currently go to the Brighton School District, but they are Rochester City School graduates. Mr. Van White, I've known you over 30 years. Thank you for owning this and thank you for your professionalism. But you, ma'am, much like a police chief, much like a mayor who run branches of the government, when they screw up, this is beyond bad. This is disgusting. And you need to resign. I came here from Brighton before I even cooked dinner for my kids to let you know that you need to resign. This is career ending and it should be. You should be ashamed of yourself. There should be no recovering from this. And this is a joke. You have Mr. Carlos Garcia here, who is a disgraced RPD officer who stole from the department, blew off Ms. Lukey's questions yesterday unprofessionally. I'm almost done, and I'm leaving. Don't worry about it. I came strictly to tell you what no one may have the cojones, excuse my language, to tell you. You need to resign. You have blood on your hands.
All right.
So just to update everyone, I took a few days off. The truth is, as a father of 2 boys and a little girl, one of those boys being 14 years old and a former Rochester City School District student, this case has really just taken a toll on me as it has on the community. So I came here to a press conference at the Rochester, New York City School District, basically to say what you just heard me say to the superintendent. It is disgusting, and any parent with kids in the Rochester, New York City School District should be ashamed of this district, should be hurt, should be disgusted, and should see if there's any way that they can pull their children out of this district. This is beyond disgusting. They falsified records claiming this young man was present in school when he wasn't. A Rochester, New York police officer actually got into a verbal argument with school officials to see the video. They didn't want the police to see the video of this young man walking away from the school. This is disgusting.